Hello, I'm Suzanne Lasrato, Vice President of Member Services and Innovation at CIRO. I'm very excited to welcome you all to the first episode of CIRO's new web series, where we bring you dynamic, one-on-one conversations with leaders, disruptors, and innovators who are reshaping the future of finance in Canada. From emerging trends to groundbreaking ideas, these bite-sized insights are designed to inspire and inform professionals navigating today's rapidly evolving financial landscape. To kick things off, we're bringing you a conversation at the forefront of financial intelligence and regulatory innovation. Our CEO, Andrew Kriegler, sits down with Sarah Paquet, the CEO of FINTRAC, to discuss how the agency is evolving to address new risks and opportunities, its key priorities in an increasingly digital and data-driven world, and how CIRO and FINTRAC collaborate every day to build a more resilient, transparent, and efficient financial system. Let's get started.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for an episode of CIRO's new web series, which will spotlight leaders in the Canadian investment industry and how they have supported industry innovation so that investors are better served and protected with confidence in investing in their futures. Today, I'm pleased and honored to speak with Madame Sarah Paquet, the CEO of FINTRAC, Canada's financial intelligence unit and anti-money laundering regulator. FINTRAC plays a critical role in safeguarding the integrity of Canada's financial system by monitoring and analyzing financial transactions to combat money laundering, terrorist financing, and other financial crimes. In this episode, we'll explore how FINTRAC is addressing some of the more pressing challenges in our evolving financial landscape, including its response to digital asset adoption and how collaboration with regulators like CIRO is reducing regulatory burden while enhancing oversight. Let's begin by discussing FINTRAC's strategic priorities and the evolving threats facing the financial ecosystem. So maybe you can start with the priorities you have for the next year.
Absolutely. So thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I will start by talking about FINTRAC in general and then moving to our priorities. So FINTRAC, as you know, is a regulator. So we work with sector like yours to ensure that your members know their client, they are keeping records, but most importantly, submitting reports to us. Those reports are about financial transaction that may be related to money laundering or terrorist financing. So that's very important for us. And when the sectors are in compliance, we receive good information. When we receive good information, we can do good analysis to support law enforcement in their investigation. So part 2 is the Financial Intelligence Unit. This is where the analysis happen. And why it's important to understand how the two work together is because compliance for compliance, there's no impact. So we want compliance from our reporting entities because we need the information to be able to analyze it and then support law enforcement. So when we were thinking about how can we be more efficient, we thought about the victims. Because the faster we receive the report, the faster we can analyze them and the faster we can support law enforcement. So we gave ourselves the mandate of becoming real-time, FINTRAC in real time. And the goal is that receiving the report faster, receiving better quality report, analyzing it faster, investigation, are able to work right away on the information, and then we save victims. Because we need to understand that financial crimes is about profit, and the profit is done on the back of the victims. But who are those victims? So in your world, we're talking about fraud, and market manipulation. But there's also human trafficking victims, children sexual exploitation victims, opioid victims. And all those criminals are making profit. To be able to use their profit, they need to bring their profit into the financial legal system, and this is how financial crimes happen. So for us, becoming real times mean we're saving more victims faster, and we may stop other victims of becoming part of those criminal activities. So that's why it's so important for us to work closely with sectors, to have good quality, timely information, to be able to do our analysis and support law enforcement in their investigation when they are looking at those cases. So what does it mean to modernize? So we look at our tools. Do we have the right technological tools? Do we have the right talent in our organization? Do we have the right processes? And we really tackle all of them together, looking what are the new AI tools we need to do our work, what kind of training our employees need, and are our processes streamlined enough to be efficient. For the supervision sector, we also look into a big reorg to ensure that our work was organized by sectors. So we were able to get to know the sector better, build a relationship, more collaboration, more cooperation, and more understanding of how we need to work together. And the goal, always the same, receive the reports we need to receive, high quality report, to be able to analyze them as fast as possible to support law enforcement investigation. So that's really what is our focus this year, is to enhance our modernization by working closely with the private sector, working closely with the tech industry, and supporting our law enforcement to do the work they do to save more victims.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. So you talked about technology, about AI, and some of the other factors that are changing the market, the industry. Could you talk a little bit more about how you're adapting to respond to this changing environment, especially in a world where generative AI and other tools are really changing the landscape?
Yeah. So we need to look at those tools for their potential, but being very clear and understanding the risk associated with that. So when we created a team that was just going to focus on our modernization, we ensured that we had all the parameters in place to ensure our information was secure, that our people were trained, understand how they can use it for what and what kind of information. But at the same time, thinking on how can we be more efficient. Like everything we do now at FINTRAC is FINTRAC in real time. How what I'm doing today is going to get me closer to real time, and how can I change the work and the tool I use to actually get to that.
Understand. Well, we too are a world that deals with billions of transactions in real time every day. So I have a sense for the size of the challenge that you're tackling, and we're really glad that you're doing it. One other element of technology has been the rise of digital assets in Canada and around the world. With the rise in adoption of cryptocurrencies in Canada, what challenges have you faced in monitoring and regulating digital assets, blockchain platforms, and decentralized finance overall?
Yeah. So before we started, we needed to bring some experts within FINTRAC to start looking at our information. Because I spoke about the supervision, receiving the reports. I spoke about intelligence, where we analyze the report. But we also have a strategic group who's looking at strategic intelligence. So looking at the same data, but trying to find trends to identify new criminal or illicit activities and new hot zone, and be able to share that information with our partners. So we started by bringing experts within FINTRAC to ensure we had the right knowledge. Then we bought the right tools to be able to follow the money in those new different layers of financial transactions. And we started to work with the currency dealers. They also became part of the regime. So receiving their information, analyzing their information, building the relationship to understand their context, and helping them to comply, and then being able to disclose to law enforcement.
You used the wonderful phrase, follow the money, which is the key to all of this, of course. For crypto assets, digital assets generally, that can be a bigger challenge. Could you talk a little bit about the challenges you face in doing surveillance in that sort of anonymous or pseudo-anonymous part of the market?
Yeah, that's the big challenge. So I don't think you can do it without those tools. You really need to use the tools, the blockchain tools, to help you, and the different technology associated with that. And our reporting entities need to do it as well. Because if an entity is not able to use those tools, there's very little information they'll be able to share with us, and then won't be able to share any more information with law enforcement. So for us, it's very important, and it's we need to look at the risk, and we need to be very cautious on how we're using those risks. But at the same time, we cannot deprive ourselves from the efficiency they bring. So it's really a balance. The criminals are innovative. The criminals are not afraid of using those tools. So if we don't, we won't be able to continue to fight. We had complex files that we worked on with law enforcement. One of the most known in the virtual asset world is the Crypto King. Those are complex investigations, but that's really when we all come together with the information we have and we follow the money, virtual money in this case, that we are able to support law enforcement and having results in their investigation.
You talked about working together with law enforcement, with other parties. We're one of those other parties, of course. We've had a memorandum of understanding with FINTRAC for the last few years, and I know firsthand how well it's working. I'd like to understand from your perspective how the partnership has enhanced the ability of you and your other partners to prevent, detect financial crimes across the country.
So those memorandum of understanding are very important because when we have them in place, we can exchange more information and we can exchange it more quickly. So going back to real time, the more information you have access, the quicker you have access to information, more efficient you're going to be. So when we work with an entity like yours and we are able to exchange information, we are able to provide you with more information, but we're also able to receive more information and understand your work better. We have access to your expert, you have access to ours, and then we really think together how we can collaborate. So we try not to duplicate the work, we try to leverage each other, and I think those memorandum of understanding are the way to go because we're all fighting the same criminals. So the more we can do together, the better it is.
I think that's very well said. Perhaps as a closing question, how does this harmonized environment help not only FINTRAC and its federal and provincial partners and ourselves, but also the financial institutions and other reporting entities that we work with to try and generate a more collaborative and efficient environment?
I think it goes for all the financial institutions and the other sectors because sometimes people will see the regulator as, oh, they have a work to do and we're not going to work with them or collaborate with them. I would say that's the opposite. Like the crimes we are fighting are real and they're big. And if we want to win this fight, we need to work together. So I think we should all look into how we can collaborate and cooperate first. And then when we have authorities that just says that that's as far as we can go and we need to go back and do our part of the job, we do that. But if we put the lens first on how to collaborate and how to cooperate together, I think we'll find solution. We're not going to learn in silos. We'll be able to leverage each other and we're going to have bigger impact.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sarah, for a truly enlightening conversation. Today's discussion has given me a good perspective on how FINTRAC is tackling some of the complex challenges in Canada's financial landscape, from monitoring the rise of digital assets to a broader modernization of our financial system. So thank you. What stands out is your commitment to balancing innovation with oversight and ensuring that technological advancements don't compromise the security or the integrity of our financial ecosystem. Thank you for your partnership with us at CIRO. We look forward to being able to enhance it further over the months and years to come and to helping the Canadian public overall. This alignment strengthens our ability to work together, and we thank you.
Thank you.
That wraps up the first episode of our new CIRO web series. A huge thank you to Sarah Paquet for sharing valuable insights on FINTRAC's evolving priorities and how collaboration between our organizations strengthens the financial system. Our next episode will feature Karen McGuinness, Senior Vice President, Finance, Investor, and Member Relations at CIRO, in conversation with Michelle Bayo, CEO of Finnovator, a prominent advocate for open banking. Together, they examine the progress, challenges, and key considerations shaping the adoption of consumer-driven banking in Canada.